Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us once again this evening. I hope that you are well wherever you are joining us from, whether here in our continent or further afield. Let me give you a very warm welcome and also just introduce myself, especially for those maybe who are joining us for the first time or first few times. My name is Betty Oloo, a long-time New Life distributor, and always very happy to share with you these sessions about our products together with my husband and partner, Pascal, who will share the business side of the session. So I see we are a few minutes late this starting off, so I'll go directly in to say that you will have seen from your introduction, from your invitation, that my session today is about sports nutrition. And I want to take two aspects of this, given that, for one thing, we know that there are people who make a living by sports activities. And also, there are people who, as a hobby or a way of entertainment, also participate in sports. And yet, many of us, because of the importance we know activity plays in our general health, we see being active and performing certain kinds of sports or exercise as part of a healthy lifestyle. So given all these different ways in which we can participate either in sports or in exercise or other types of activities, I think that a session like this is going to be useful in positioning ourselves, especially given that many of us here in Africa know that we are very fond of sports. I know soccer is a great favorite. In our own country of origin, in Kenya, we have got lots of athletic people who are of world-class standard. And on here in South Africa, where we live, also there are lots of sports. We have only recently been rejoicing at the performance of the Springboks and so on. And as New Life distributors, I believe that we do have a part to play in the sports world, and we should not be shy in thinking and planning and exploring how we can actually introduce our products and information education in this area. So professional sportsmen and women, as well as amateurs, value their performance in order to earn a living, to excel, to reach personal goals, and even to entertain. So for this reason, in sports, optimum nutrition has a very important role to play, as does training and recovery. And as we go through the session, we look at these different aspects. Although sportsmen and women tend to be healthy, because, of course, they need to be able to perform well, we should position ourselves to provide them with what we have that can support them in optimizing their special nutritional needs. So we know that most of them will start from a position of good health, but we know that because of the area, especially of professional sports, the demands on their bodies is going to be higher than for most ordinary people. And so we should create that awareness in the process of positioning our products. So why is optimum nutrition of such importance to sports people as well as to those of us who are highly active? I will mention a few. First of all is poor performance. They will be concerned about poor performance because every sports person is working hard with their eyes on the goal on the day that they are going to perform. So the intention of the sports person is to achieve goals and to please the fans or their spectators. And also supplementation is going to augment their performance and provide their body with what it needs in form of fuel or in being able to execute whatever they have been training for. So, of course, you know that if a person is training very hard, it is demanding, but it is important that they have everything they need to ensure that their training is going to bear the fruit that they're looking for. Because if you are training very hard, but when it comes to the day of performance, then there's poor performance. Then, of course, there's disappointment. The sponsors can be disappointed, the fans can be disappointed, and the sports person themselves. So here is one place where by supplementation we can augment good nutrition. Then another aspect is bone and muscle loss. Our bones look like they're just hard structural materials, but the truth is that they're actually living tissues and they're always growing or breaking down like any other living tissue. This is because they have got two kinds of cells. There are certain cells which break down old worn out bones, the tissue of bones. So as the bones grow older, they start being broken down by these cells, which are called osteoclasts. So they break the old bone material down, but we also have other cells which lay down new bone tissue to rejuvenate the bones. So this is why I'm saying that our bones just look like hard, non-living material, but they're actually living tissue, which require nutrients to be repaired, to be rebuilt, and to produce byproducts to be gotten rid of. So the body maintains good bone quality and good muscle quality in response to the demands of training as well as our work or activity. So this means that if we are looking at sports people, the body is going to have high demands, which means it will be working towards creating a good bone structure and also a good, strong muscular structure to support the demands of the sports activity. This can also be true about people who do hard physical work, because the body will try to maintain strong muscles, to maintain good, strong bones. And of course, we ourselves, as we try to ensure that we are active in our lifestyles, we'll also have those demands put on us, maybe to a lesser degree. So optimum nutrition ensures that the body has the nutrients that it requires to build and to repair these structural materials like bones and muscles and connective tissues. Then another area of concern is the immune system. So for sports people, when they are practicing very heavily or when they have been competing or performing, there is going to be a high demand placed on the immune system, because the immune system is going to be surveilling the entire body to make sure that any unfriendly organisms that find their way into the body are dealt with. So when the immune system is stressed, it can become ineffective or reduced in its effectiveness. And that means that we then become susceptible to infections. Sometimes, as a result of maybe too much stress, the immune system can actually start being hyper active, and what it does then is attack the body in what we call autoimmune responses or disorders. So it is important for sports people to get what they need to support their immune system, not only to ensure that it's functioning well, but also to protect themselves from any infections that they may get, including maybe during their performance, there may be some injuries which they may undergo and which may require the immune system to actually respond and deal with. So the immune system is another area of concern. And then we notice that muscles and bones, when we are actively using them and maybe supporting a good exercise regime, we find that we build them well, but our bodies respond to the demand of our lifestyle. So if we slacken in activity, or if a person who was in active sports, in an active sports life becomes less active, then we find that the body will respond by reducing the size of the muscles, and eventually the muscular physique might be replaced with a fat, heavy physique. And for this reason, a sedentary lifestyle is, of course, not the best for our health. And even though we may not be as highly active as those who are performing in sports, we need to incorporate activity in our lifestyles. And people who are in sports should also, of course, always be aware that their body is responding to their activity level, and thereby ensuring that they are exercising enough, they are practicing enough, and they are also going into recovery, because we also have a period where a time is given for recovering from high activity levels. So, in our New Life product, sports nutrition aims at assisting both sports people and people at all activity levels in optimizing their nutritional needs. And here we can also think of the young people in our lives, maybe our children or relatives who are still in high school, primary school, and are interested in sports and are active in sports. We should be aware that they too will need to be given the nutritional support that ensures that they can perform well. And as a result of the tendency we see now of our children and young people being less active than in former times, we find that childhood obesity is becoming a serious and common problem even here in our continent of Africa. So we would recommend that as parents, we are aware of the importance of emphasizing a good amount of activity in the lives of our children. And for those who are already enthusiastic sports people or very active, then as young people, they are also growing, and we need to be aware of supporting them in these nutritional needs. So why then would we recommend Neolife to prospective people that we are going to come across in the sports world? The first is that Neolife supplements are made from food grade material. That is, the foods which are put in our supplements are actually things that are supposed to be eaten. This may be a strange thing for me to be saying, but just for you to be aware that there are many supplements out there which are not actually made from food grade material. So that is the first and most important thing, that our supplements are food concentrates. And because they are food concentrates, we will not end up with our sports person who is our client or our family member getting into problems as in drug tests or in substance misuse tests, because what we are putting in our supplements are actually food material that they are going to be eating. It's simply that they are concentrated and at a high level and researched so that they perform and provide the nutrients that we promise that they are going to provide. So the nutrients in our supplements are bioavailable. So bioavailability is a term that refers to the ability of the body to actually absorb and use the nutrients that are in the supplements. Again, as I've mentioned, not every supplement has this quality, but our Neolife products, because they are food grade and of very high quality, they are bioavailable, which means that they will fulfill the nutritional requirements for which they are being taken. So the sports person who is using our Neolife products is actually going to get real value for money and benefit for the supplements. Then the other point about our Neolife products is that since they are not synthetic, maybe we need to look at some of the synthetic side of things. So synthetic nutrients are manufactured individually. So one item will be found which is rich in a certain nutrients. A lot of times it is a non-food source. And this non-food raw material that is used in making the synthetic nutrients will be from different places, and then they are put together as one supplement. And this is problematic because it may not necessarily be very bioavailable for the body. The body might not even be really well able to utilize it or to even recognize it as a nutrient because of certain refined chemical differences between it and food grade nutrients. So this means that the synthetic nutrients will be of limited value to the body when it's taken as a supplement. So here I can give an example of some of the synthetic vitamin E that we get in The markets out there are made from petroleum products. Some of the synthetic vitamin C is made from chemically processing certain kinds of grains so as to change the raw material into vitamin C. And this means that the quality of the vitamin you're going to get is actually not as high as all that. And it also limits the value that is going to be given to the body with such a supplement. Because remember, the supplement is supposed to ensure that we are reaching those nutritional goals. So if our foods are not of as high a quality as we'd like because of different reasons, then at least our supplements should be of the exacting quality so that it makes up for any shortfalls in our nutrients. Although synthetic nutrients may appear to be chemically similar to the food-based one, the difference comes in the way that the body is going to react to them, given that the body might not be able to identify them as food, which means they'll pass out of the system and be excreted. And that is the better case scenario. Sometimes the byproducts that come from the body trying to utilize those synthetic nutrients are actually going to be themselves problematic. So this is just to emphasize why it is important to tell our story to our customers and prospective customers about the difference that Neolife brings to the table, and to tell them about our scientific advisory board that actually researches and advises the company on the way to manufacture this. And I would say also, as out of the many years of being a Neolife distributor, it is very important that a company should have integrity. Because if you can imagine that someone has been dreaming as a child to play in a certain sport or to perform in a certain sport, and has been exercising and practicing and honing their skills, and then at the final point of it to discover that the supplement they are taking contains something which gets them disqualified to compete, it's a big disappointment and quite unfair. So as a Neolife distributor, I can say that all of us should take pride in the integrity of the Neolife company, and the fact that Jerry Brasfield, all the way with the rest of his team, take very seriously what goes into the making of our supplements. Then I will turn my attention now to the life cycle of a sports person. So the life cycle of a sports person comprises of 3 stages or 3 phases. The first phase is the training phase of the cycle. So this is a period during which the sports person is training to prepare for their performance or their competition. And their needs will include building strength, will include cultivating endurance. So when we speak about sports endurance, we are speaking about the ability to sustain a high level of physical activity. The third thing they need is to build up stamina. So stamina is the ability to sustain in both, not only physical, as we said before, but also in mental and mental resilience, so that when they are performing, their minds are also in that competition and performance mood. So those are the 3 big things that are needed in the training cycle, that they are building up their strength, they are building up endurance, and they are building up stamina. And they are also able to minimize injuries, because of course, during the training phase, the sports person has to be very careful to avoid injuries. Of course, if there is an injury, it might make them unable to perform or to compete. So with those 3 needs in the training phase, on the Neolife side, we recommend that they use sports protein shake, which provides them with a high protein, a high quality of protein that is helped in building up tissues such as muscles and strong bones, as well as repairing any minor injuries that might be there. We also recommend Amitone, which is a preparation of amino acids, and Daily Vitality Pack. The Daily Vitality Pack contains a broad range of supplements that will ensure that the sports person has all the different supplements that gives them optimum nutrition. In addition to those, for dark-skinned people who are training or performing in places where there is low sun exposure, such as indoor training, or where there is low sun intensity, such as temperate climates, we'll recommend that they add to their nutritional range vitamin D, because vitamin D plays a very important role, for example, in the absorption of calcium, which is important for bones. And vitamin D is very supportive of the immune system and many other processes in our body. So if you are dark-skinned, it means that if you're not getting good sun intensity, then it is important to supplement with vitamin D or vitamin A plus D, depending on what you have in your market. Then the second phase of the sportsman life cycle is the competition phase. So that is when they have been preparing and training for the competition, and now comes the period or the day of the competition. And the needs here again are quite high, because they need high energy for performance. They need mental sharpness to ensure that they have the mental strength and resilience to achieve good results. Remember that in competition, you are trying to do your best, but you have at your side maybe people who are equally trying to do their best and outdo you. So the mental frame is quite important. And so those are the needs of the competition phase. And for this, we recommend for them that they continue to use the sports protein shake, as well as Pro Vitality and vitamin B complex. So these ones are in the sports competition phase. And then the last phase is the recovery phase of the cycle. So during this recovery phase is after the training and the competition, then an active person or a professional sports person is going to require some time off to take low grade activity or low grade exercise to allow their body to recover from the rigors of the competition. So during this phase, the needs are as follows. They need to repair the tissues which might have been worn down or damaged by injuries during the competition or the training. They also need to resolve inflammation caused by injury or by stress. So we have spoken often about inflammation, which is a response in our bodies to damage or to certain systemic problems. So these need to be resolved during the recovery phase. And then also exercise and sports and energetic activities require our body to just take it a bit easy so that it can take the opportunity to recover and repair itself. So with those needs, we recommend from Neolife that they continue to use Pro Vitality as they had been using during the competition phase. They need to add to that chelated zinc, which plays an important role in healing of internal wounds, maybe from certain pulled tendons and ligaments that maybe might have been a bit bruised or damaged during the competition and training. We also recommend full motion, because of course activity always require our flexibility and our full range of motion. And they can continue also with the protein shake, the sports protein shake at this phase. So you can see that we change a little bit at each phase of the cycle, but the basic foundation of sports nutrition is going to be the sports protein shake, which is the source of supplementary protein for them to supplement the protein they are getting in their diets. It is easy to take, to drink, and to prepare and to transport. So this is a very useful thing for a sports person or an active person, or a child who is participating in sports, maybe traveling around the country. It's easy for them to prepare the protein shake to drink when they need a protein boost. Then we add there also omega-3, very important for inflammation, which always accompanies us. We also have something like vitamin B complex that is found in Daily Vitality Pack, and we can also take it as a standalone. This helps in energy production. And of course, we have Tri and N in our Pro Vitality and in our Daily Vitality Pack, which ensures that we are taking care of the quality of our cellular health. So in addition to that, I think maybe some addition one like zinc, very important for the healing of internal wounds. Then with the few minutes that I have remaining, I wanted to just mention one or two questions. There was a question about exhaustion. So exhaustion is extreme fatigue that can be the result of poor health, or in the case of a sports person, it can follow very prolonged periods of training and competing without taking care of the recovery phase. So where this can be the result, this can happen to a sports person, but also to the rest of us generally as a result of high exertion. Maybe even in building the business, we've been on the road supporting our team for long periods, speaking to people, doing these kind of things that we do very well. We may from time to time feel quite tired, and that can also come under exhaustion. And the supplements that we'd recommend for that would be Pro Vitality, Vitamin B complex, and Neolife Shake. So these are going to provide the body with what it needs to recover and to increase the energy levels. So the active cycle should always include a rest and recovery period so that it allows the body time to recover its energy and repair itself. Then there was someone who had a question about rheumatoid arthritis, and rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune kind of arthritis. So we have got two kinds of arthritis, actually more than two, but for now I'll just mention the two. We have rheumatoid arthritis, which is the autoimmune one, and then we have got the osteoarthritis, which is the second kind. So the question was about rheumatoid arthritis, which comes as a result of the body attacking the tissues of the joints. And this can lead to reduced flexibility of the joints, especially the small joints like the fingers and the toes initially, but it can go on to cause more damage. And the supplements that we recommend for rheumatoid arthritis would be omega-3 salmon oil that helps as an anti-inflammatory. We would also recommend botanical balance. In this case, the botanical balance will play a role not of sugar or of sugar control, but actually of providing turmeric. So turmeric is one of the botanicals that is in our botanical balance. It is when we are taking it for diabetes, it's to help the body in sugar management. But in the case of rheumatoid arthritis, we are helping it to be an anti-inflammatory and to help when there's a flare-up of the rheumatic pains. Then we also recommend vitamin D or vitamin A plus D, because this is a very important vitamin that acts as to quieten or to resolve the stress on the immune system, and it's an anti-inflammatory. Just to say that autoimmune problems usually is when the immune system is overstressed. It does not mean, as sometimes people mistakenly think, that the autoimmune problems come as a result of the immune system being too strong. It actually means that the immune system is getting stressed and is not functioning correctly, so that it is making mistakes and thinks that the body's tissues are actually enemy tissues and starts to attack it. So for this reason, vitamin D has an important place in supporting to normalize the immune system and reduce the flare-ups of the rheumatoid arthritis. So again, as with most autoimmune illnesses, rheumatoid arthritis will take time to resolve, but by using these supplements, and here especially is if the rheumatoid arthritis has not progressed very far. If it has progressed far and is causing a lot of pain and disability, then of course we need to work in conjunction with the medical treatment. But the supplements also play a very important role, in addition to lifestyle points. So with all autoimmune illnesses, so this is not only rheumatoid arthritis, but we are thinking of things like lupus, we are thinking of things like psoriasis and so on. With all these things that have to do with autoimmune disorders, there are certain lifestyle changes that make an important difference. And this is eliminating problem foods such as refined sugar, factory fats, and overprocessed foods and junk foods. So these ones will increase the flare-ups that the person with an autoimmune illness experiences. Then it's important to include moderate activity in the lifestyle, and also to clean up the diet and take plenty of fruits and vegetables. There are certain fruits that are of special benefit here. So, for example, pineapples and avocados. Pineapples help with reducing inflammation and improving digestion. And we also have avocados that are rich in healthy fats. So the lifestyle, with using the supplements and some of these lifestyle adjustments, I think that the quality of life of someone suffering from rheumatoid arthritis can be greatly improved. Of course, as I said, if it is far advanced and not responding as adequately as you'd like, then of course there is an important part that the medical treatment will also play, especially in pain management and dealing with flare-ups. But since they are chronic and continuing, the best thing to do is, in addition to that medical attention, to take care of lifestyle points, as well as those supplements that support the body in healing the root of the problem. So I see that my time is long up. I want to thank you very much for your time this evening. I hope that the information will be beneficial in helping you to go out there and look amongst our brothers and sisters who are active sports people, whether in schools, colleges, different institutions, and sports clubs, and create awareness of what our Neolife products can actually do for them in improving their performance. So let me then hand you over to Pascal, who is standing by to take you through the business section of this evening. And thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Betty. I also need to admit that I'm also a sportsman. I like sports. I enjoy watching sports. I like exercising and running up and down. Actually, not running, walking a lot. So I see there are a lot of some questions. We are going to address them the next session for the people who've sent some queries on the chat. So what I want to discuss with you today is how to get new people started in the business. Okay, Anna Mbani says you also do sports. Fantastic. I want to share with you the things that you need to do to get new people started in the business. Why is that important? Because remember what our business is. Our business is when you get a large group of people doing little things every day, that's how you build a big business. The essence, building a large group of people, doing a little every single day, and that's the core of our business. It simply means that we need to get numbers in our team. If you really want to be successful in our business, your goal is to build a huge number of people who use and promote the product. For example, if you introduce 2 people who introduce 2, that's 4. Those 4 introduce 2, that's 8. Those 8 introduce 2, that is 16. 16 new people. The total will be 30. If you add just one more person, if you introduce 3 people and those 3 introduce 3, you get 9. If those 9 introduce 3, you get 27 new people. If those 27 new people introduce 3, that's 81. The total is, the difference between that is 81, the other one is 16. But if you introduce 5, there is a very significant jump in the number of people who use the products. So our goal is to build a large network of people who use the products. So when you're getting started people in the business, it's important to start them on the right footing. First, what is the core of any society? What is required for a society to thrive, or a family, or an organization? It requires having the correct corporate culture. It requires each person to have personal attributes that lead to long-term success. Okay? I was once reading a book about one of the most influential people in the world throughout history is called Genghis Khan. And I read about how he built a culture that nobody would dare cross. If you want your team to grow, if you want your team to thrive, if you want your team to have very long-term success, first, build the correct corporate culture. Number two, each person to have correct personal attributes. And they're the following: corporate culture, absolute honesty and integrity. We speak about this every meeting. People are number one, products that work. The reason why the Springboks use our products is because they work. They are simply the best products in the sports market. Okay? You need to have a long-range vision. Don't have a short view of this business. Have a very long-range vision and then equal opportunity for everybody. These are essential elements for a good corporate culture. But for that corporate culture to be maintained, each individual needs to have the following personal attributes. Unselfishness. This business, the only way to not succeed is to be selfish. Two, stewardship and gratitude. Stewardship simply means that you realize you hold something dear in your hands that you need to transfer to somebody who joins your business. That's what stewardship is. Gratitude is being thankful for the things that you have. In fact, neuroscientists are beginning to find out that people who have more gratitude have got a better self-image. They actually tend to live longer. Gratitude. Three is humility. Humility simply means you realize that you and other people are just the same. You are not better than them, they're not better than you. Okay? In fact, the word humility comes from a Latin root, which means humus, and that means soil. So humility simply means you accept yourself the way you are, not better than anybody else, not worse than anybody else. The other one is a strong work ethic. The people who really work hard in our business are the ones who succeed, and mostly working on yourself. You can work very hard in the business, but if you don't work on yourself, very little will change. A positive attitude which comes from having a dream and looking at things from the positive side, and then having a proper work-life balance. Okay, so these are the attributes, corporate and personal attributes, that every new person who starts a business needs to be taken through this. If you look at our Getting Started document, you will find this information, I think in page 2 or 3. Okay? Now, what are the 3 things that every distributor needs to have to become successful in our business? 3 things. 1, having a burning desire. How you see, a desire comes from your heart. This nobody can give you. I can teach you how to build the business. Your sponsor can teach you how to build the business. But if you don't have a desire in your heart, nobody can do it for you. Okay? And how do you get a desire? You need to have a dream. You need to have a desire to achieve what more than you currently have. And if you keep that dream in your heart, it begins to stoke the fire of desire in your heart. All right? So have a burning desire. 2, being coachable, being teachable. Most people who start this business start with little or no experience. This is my experience in the business. The people who are most coachable are the ones who become very successful. Being coachable simply means that you allow somebody else to teach you what you don't know. But I've also learned that even if you have been in the business as long as Betty and myself have been, there's somebody who can join the business yesterday or 1 week ago will tell you something that will change the direction of your business. So you need to be like a sponge. Absorb everything that is around you. Number 3, hard work. Hard work simply means every single day you concentrate on income-producing activities. That is, those activities that lead to the growth of your business. That simply means talking to people. That is what income producing activities are. All right, getting started steps. What are the steps you need to start with a new person? Step number 1, let them write a dream, something they want to achieve. My suggestion is, don't ask your new distributor or somebody who's just joining to have a dream to conquer the whole world. No, you need just something very small to start with so that they can build confidence in whatever they're doing. For example, you start the business, your goal could be to earn $500, $300. That is your initial goal. That dream, write it down. Make sure it's in something, on a place you see it every day. Okay? What is your dream? What is your why for joining the business? Step number 2, set goals. What does that mean? Set activities that you need to perform to make sure the dream in step number 1 becomes true. I want to suggest to you that set your goals in steps of 90 days, not more. And the reason for that, when we set a goal which is too far off, our minds find it difficult to grasp because it is too far off. But if you set goals every 90 days, each 90 days you change your goals. Each 90 days you say, okay, like this, the past 90 days, this is what I have built. Let me say somebody who starts a business in November. Make your goal to reach 1,000 PV in 3 months, or 2,000 PV. A simple goal like that. Okay? Personal PV, personal sponsoring, group volume. Those 3 steps. Okay? So set goals for activity. Number 3, develop monthly, weekly, and daily action plan. That simply means if your goal is to become, this is November, let me say you start the business at the beginning of November. Your goal at the end of November to become a manager. How do you do it? Number 1, do 100 PV. How do you do 100 PV? Buy products for your own use. An average person at home uses let me say 40 PV to be conservative. All right? Then look for 3 customers or 4. Each customer buying 20 PV. You reach 100 PV. How do you look for this customer? Speak to your neighbor. Speak to your friend of the office, whatever you're doing. Speak to somebody about our business. You'll get the 100 PV. Next thing, aim to sponsor 3 new people every month. If you do that, you're going to be a manager by the end of the month or the next month. All right? Then set monthly, weekly, daily goals. Step number 4, daily success habits. These are the things you need to be doing every day to grow your business. Use the products. If you don't use your products, your business will not grow. It's as simple as that. And to use I want to suggest to all of you, I think we undersell or we underemphasize the cleaning range of products. Why? Because every home cleans, even if they don't use supplements, but they use cleaning products. Okay? So you need to start selling the cleaning products also apart from the supplements. I know the supplements constitute about 60% of the company's sales, but you can grow your business bigger by also starting to introduce your customers to the cleaning products. All right? So use the products. Number 2, share the business. How do you share the business? Use the 4 basic things. Name list, invite, show the plan, follow up. Name list, invite, show the plan, follow up. Those 4 things. You need to do it over and over and over and over again, because we're creatures of habit. The more you do it, the more it becomes habitual. All right? 100 names, invite people, learn how to invite professionally. Okay? And make use of tools. Then show the plan and follow up after the person has shown the plan. And then plan and monitor your activity. I would suggest monitor your activity at the end of every week. This week I had planned to speak to 6 people. How many have I spoken to? And if I've not spoken to that number, what has happened? Why did I not do what I planned to do? If you actually ask yourself that question, you'll actually find out why you haven't reached that goal. All right? Then daily income producing activities, use social media posts, meet new people, new contacts, chats, WhatsApp, Facebook messengers, whatever it is, one-on-one calls, three-way calls with your growing upline leader. That means that if you are starting a business and you're not physically there with your sponsor, arrange for your sponsor to do three-way calls with your prospects. Because they're more experienced, they will help you close your prospects. Attend presentations by Zoom, Facebook, Zoom, videos, one-on-one, group presentations, and then follow-ups. A most important thing, personal development. Personal development simply means you learn something every single day. Okay? Self-discipline. I was watching an interview where a certain doctor was interviewing Eliud Kipchoge. And the guy asked Eliud Kipchoge, how do you maintain self-discipline? So Eliud Kipchoge said that only the self-disciplined people are free. The rest are run by their emotions, how they feel. If you want to be self-disciplined, these are the three things that Eliud Kipchoge proposes. Number one, he calls it vitamin N. Learn to say no. Why? Learn to say no to those activities that steal your time but don't lead you to your goals. Number two, prioritize the activities you've set for yourself. And number three, don't complain. Is life easy? No. For everybody, wherever you are, whether in South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, US, every single place in the world, there are problems. Okay? So don't complain. It's quite easy to be caught up in the complaining game. And this is what distracts you from success. All right? So, Kelly, what's your mind? You see, the thoughts that dominate your mind is what creates your reality. Let me say that again. I would recommend to all of you from tomorrow, have a specific goal in your mind. Choose a goal. Let me say you want to earn $1,000 a month. Write that goal down and fix that goal in your mind. And then every time, take 5 minutes, close your eyes, see that goal in your mind, and then you will start noticing other thoughts beginning to intrude into your mind. The moment that happens, then you become aware of your thought pattern. And if you're aware of your thought pattern, it's very easy to start building positive mindset, because now the goal is the one that dominates your mind. If you're not aware of your thought pattern, nothing will change. People with positive minds have good dreams, they replay past success, they involved in income producing activities and affirmations. All right? They spend less on news, they spend less on positive, negative friends, they don't focus on the challenges, they don't look at what they are going through. They look at where they are going to, which is very, very important. Always have a futuristic vision of where you want to go to. And that creates a big difference. And now I want to speak to you about the power of a dream. What it takes, or what you need to do to change your life when you realize a dream. I have thought I quite some length about dreams and about life. You see, this I do these presentations through our laptop. You know, I think God finished creating physical materials after the world was created, before he created man. There are no new physical materials being created. What does that tell you? That tells you any invention in the future already exists in somebody's mind. Any dream, any invention, any technological advancement already exists in somebody's mind, because the physical materials are all there to do what we need to do. What does that tell you? That only the people who can develop dreams can actually change the course of the future. And there are hundreds of examples of people who have created a difference in society because of being able to dream, being able to use their imagination. Think about. I'm sure all of you are in a house or in a building or in a wherever you are. That house you are sitting in, that house is built from materials which already exist. For example, stones, cement, aggregate, sand, tiles, roofs. Those materials were there before, but it took an architect's imagination to bring that into reality. What does that tell you? That any dream you want in the future already exists somewhere in the spiritual dimension. You just need to develop it in your own mind and have that dream consistently in your mind, it will become true. And that's how the power of it. People who have dreams and have got ambition for the future, when you watch them, you actually notice something different about them. The way they walk, the way they talk, something is actually different about them. Why? Because a dream releases the power within you that you didn't know exists. So I want to encourage all of you, write big dreams, because big dreams are the ones that stir some people's souls. Think about this. Next year, I think the convention is still going to, the East African convention is still going to be in Dar es Salaam. The Southern African one is going to be in Pretoria. In Nigeria, there are going to be, I think, 3 or 4 venues for the convention. I want all of you who are attending this meeting this evening, because I cannot see all of you, but I'd like to take you on a short journey about dreaming. Close your eyes and transport your mind to the 19th of October. Our convention is on the 19th of October 2024. Transport your mind to that date, 19th of October 2024, and you're having your convention in Dar es Salaam. And if you're a director now, you're going on stage as a 2 Ruby director. Because you've made those steps, the company is paying for your accommodation in Dar es Salaam. You've made 3 steps: Sapphire, 1 Ruby, 2 Ruby. And as you go into the convention, you've become the top person, top world team member. And your team is cheering for you because you've won the grand prize. And you've pushed your income, you're earning $3,000 a month. And you're going to be also paid a step-up bonus at the convention. And that step-up bonus is another $3,000. I want you to maintain that picture in your mind constantly in the next few days until you actually absorb the feeling, the colors, the sounds of what you have imagined to be happening on that day. The sound of the music, the cheering of the people. You absorb every single detail. The more detail you can generate in your own mind until you actually feel the effect on your body, on your skin, until you get goosebumps. If you do it correctly, these feelings will happen to you. I want you to maintain that vision every day and replay it in your mind as if it is already happening true. And if you continue doing that, you'll be surprised at how quickly your business will grow. That is the power of a dream. That is the capacity of the human person. Because remember, God created us in his image and likeness. And what did God do? God created something, a lot of things out of nothing. He has given us that power in a small degree. We are able to create, we are able to be co-creators with him by imagining things which are not to become what they are. That is how you develop a dream. Being able to create mental pictures of the things that you want to achieve in the future. And if you maintain those thoughts remember what thoughts are. In fact, from the studies I've been reading lately, thoughts actually cause protein structures in your brain. Thoughts are actually physical things in your brain. The more positive and strong thoughts you have, the more they have more neural connections and networks in your brain. And this is what increases your belief. So maintain those thoughts in your mind. The people who are going to undertake this exercise next year, this time, their business will never be the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for spending this evening with Betty and myself. And I wish all of you the very best. I wish you would take your business serious. Start to dream again. All those dreams that you have lost, start to dream about those dreams, and those dreams will become true. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.